Hey everybody, it's Marshall from Limited Resources, and we are finally back. Was gone for the Pro Tour doing the commentating thing, but we're back now, and we've got a brand new set on our hands, and looks like we're gonna jump in here, and we've already got quite a pack, I have to say. Our rare is one of the better cards in the set. In limited, and it's actually quite a good card and constructed it, showing at least some use. Restoration Angel, awesome card. 3/4 with flash and flying, would be totally playable. It's got what you can usually turn into a tangible upside as well. As we scroll down here, we see two uncommons, both in green, that are really excellent. Druid's Familiar, we call him Pear Bear. This guy is solid, really, really good. +2/+2 cannot be underestimated, and he comes down usually as a 4/4 for 4, and he's making something else big. It's hard to ask for much more than that. Wolfir Avenger is similar to the Restoration Angel in that it also has flash, but also has regeneration. It's a little bit harder to cast. Riot Ringleader is one of the key cards for the red archetype that tends to be very, very good. Pathbreaker Worm, Gryff Vanguard, both playable. Soul Cage Fiend, Amasa components I really like, although it feels a bit slow. I am definitely going to be taking the Restoration Angel here, though I really do think it's the better card. Ooh, okay, so we've got all types of stuff coming up. First thing is we have an uncommon Kessig Malcontents. Now this card is very good in the red aggressive deck that I was just mentioning. Pairs very well with white. I personally feel like red-white is the best two-color combo currently, and I think that red's probably just the best color. We've also got a Gold Knight Commander, though. He's also on color, and he does a lot of work as well. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, creatures you control, including him, get this pump, and it's pretty easy to get a bunch of creatures into the battlefield. Another card that catches my eye is a Borderland Ranger. This can open up a lot of really cool doors for you. Abundant Growth is a sort of a low variance, nice pick. Bone Splinters ends up being one of the best removal spells in the format, which is kind of telling about how this format is. And then Cloud Shift is a card that I really like to play as well. I think I got it narrowed down to the Malcontents or the Gold Knight Commander. I think I just want the Malcontents, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to take those. I think if we end up in red-white, I'm pretty happy here. So, all right, let's see where we go from here. So we've got a Nephalia Smuggler at uncommon. This guy's really cool. You can read him. He blinks stuff, makes it really tough to kill your creatures, and he can enable some seriously crazy shenanigans. But he's, not board impacting on his own very much. And he's also expensive to use, so, when you're getting beaten down, this isn't really the kind of card you want. This is more like after you've stabilized. We have a Thatcher Revolt here, which will probably end up going in our deck pretty nicely. Best removal probably in the set is Deathwind. This card's just awesome. And there's also a Moonlight Geist here in our colors, and I think that's going to be my pick. It's between Moonlight Geist and Thatcher Revolt. And I'm going to take the Geist this time. I think we can get a Revolt or two if we want. We don't really want too many. All right, this is a card that I actually like quite a bit. In the set review, I underestimated it a bit. I thought, it's just too clunky. It's too hard to make this work. In practice, it's actually not that hard to make it work. I mean, you just need to be either have the biggest or tied for the biggest creature, and you can start drawing cards. It's a little clunky. I'll stick with that, but man, it generates a lot of advantage. Spectral Gate Guards is fine but unexciting. Cloud Shift and Fervent Cathar are both cards I like a lot. I love Cloud Shift. I think it's really good. But I'm going to take the Fervent Cathar here just because it's a better for our deck. It's a creature. Scalding Devil is a card that I think you can play, but you're not really thrilled about it. And Wandering Wolf, I would be thrilled to play, except for that we're probably not going to be in green. Okay, so we picked up... so looking at this pack, we have a red rare. Enchant creature. Your creature gets red, tap it, and copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. And then I can choose new targets, and that's a lot of work. If you could copy your opponent's stuff, this would be pretty sweet, but only really being able to do it for yourself really limits how good it is. And if you've gotten to take a look at the removal suite in this format, it's really not that great. This is probably the best card in the pack. I know it doesn't look like much, and when I first read it, I wasn't really excited by it, but I tried it out at the pre-release due to some urging from a friend, and it's very good. We're going to take either Zealous Strike or Mad Prophet here. I think I'm actually going to take Zealous Strike. I like Mad Prophet, but I feel like I can pick up enough 4-drops to be pretty happy. Okay, so a bunch of decent cards in this pack. There's a Farbog Explorer, totally solid. 2-3 for 3 with irrelevant side abilities, great. I like that card a lot. There's a Guise of Fire, which I think is a little bit underrated. This kills 1 toughness stuff very, very nicely for very cheap. It's on an instant, and you can, in a pinch, throw it on your own creature and start attacking. That doesn't get used as much. Somberwald Vigilante is like pretty good. Doesn't really do a whole lot, though. I think I'm going to take the Explorer here. Other notables in the pack, Driver of the Dead is okay. Galvanic Alchemist is okay. All right, so not a whole lot for us here. There's only 1 card in our colors, and it's a Midnight Duelist. He's really underwhelming. This Nightshade Peddler is better than he looks. Another Triumph from Ferocity. Looks like black's wide open. Driver of Dead. Again, a Marrow Bats, which is actually pretty sweet. And there's even a Timberland Guide, which I like quite a bit as well. I think I'm just going to take the Timberland Guide here. We'll keep our eye on green. It seems to be fairly open, but who knows? Another Marrow Bat. So black definitely is open, but I don't know. We're a little spread out. One of the things that you'll notice in this format that can be cool but also kind of annoying is that there's not that many playables. There's not as many playables as maybe we're used to, I think. And so when your deck comes together, you really need to make sure that you don't waste picks like this. I mean, we didn't have a choice here, but like that hurts you more than it would in a normal format. I guess I'll take Aggravate. It's on color. Okay, so here's a pack that we opened. There's really nothing for us. Soul Cage Fiend, Pathbreaker Worm, Grave Exchange I don't really like very much, but it can do some good things in the right deck and the right situation. We'll take another green card, I guess. So now we've got 2 cards for us. We've got a Midvast Protector, which is a 4-drop that, you know, it has some uses. And then we've got a Gang of Devils, which I think is what we're going to take here. It's a little bit pricey at 6, but it does act as reach, which is kind of nice. Looks like none of these, the Blink Cloud Shifts are coming back, unfortunately. We're not going to play really any of these. I guess we'll take this. And I'll take a Scalding Devil here. Sure. Okay. So our deck isn't amazing so far, but we've got a couple of nice cards, and we'll see what this next pack brings us. We're going to keep our eyes open. I mean, our red is okay. Our white is just okay. Like we don't really have a whole lot going on here, but in my experience with this format, you can't really afford to jump ship too often unless it's just hits you over the head. I've played in a lot of formats where you're able to sort of maneuver. I've played in formats, and some of my favorite formats are the ones where you can take 3 or even 4 different colors for your first 3 or 4 picks and kind of feel out how things go and just don't worry about it. But in this set, it feels like you have a lot more pressure on each pick. Well, we've got a really stacked pack for us here, actually. I mean, pretty stacked. There's 2 big cards here, Herald of War and Nearheath Pilgrim. Nearheath Pilgrim's like one of the better 2-drops around. This is a card I really want in my deck, but I don't think I'm going to turn down the power of a Herald of War here. I mean, you can see what it does. It gets bigger. It attacks as a 4/4 even just on the first one, and makes your other stuff cheaper, which can be relevant. I'm really bummed to have to pass a Pilgrim here. This Inquisitor would make it. The Thatcher Revolt would make it too. This would not make it. This is just too slow. But we're going to take the Herald of War. That's a pretty sweet pickup. All right, so we see some more green cards, a few red cards. This guy's pretty cool. He's not really on our radar, unfortunately, because we are going to still try to stick to be red-white. So let's take a look at what we have over here. They kind of grouped them for us, which is nice. We've got a Hanweir Lancer. This guy's sweet. As far as 3-drop goes, he's one of the ones I really want. He pairs up with something, and they both have first strike, and he can serve a defensive or offensive purpose. Another Moonlight Geist would make the cut for sure. It's just a 2/1 flying for 3. Again, I want Cloud Shifts, and then I would play this guy, but I'm going to take the Lancer here. All right, and our picks dry up almost immediately. We've got another Commander's Authority, again, a card I'm not really looking to play at all, and a Demolish, which is not a card I'm going to play either. Angelic Wall, while cool artwork and not the worst card, doesn't fit into what we're trying to do. We're trying to beat down here. This isn't a 2-drop that we want to be running. That's kind of a bummer. There's really nothing for us here. I guess I'm just going to take the Commander's Authority here. I mean, we probably won't run it, but I guess there could be a matchup where we do. I'm not really sure. All right. More blanks for us here. There's a Desolate Lighthouse, which is a really sweet rare. They call it the Loot House. I love that card. We're going to be taking a Thraben Valiant out of this pack. There's also the Guise of Fire, but I really want 2-drop creatures that can actually attack, so I'm just going to take it. Ooh. We got a nice one here. Vigilante Justice is actually very good. It looks a little slow, and it is. But, man, you start playing humans after this thing, and you just get to ping and take out stuff and finish stuff off and set up bad blocks. It's just really good. Heirs of Stromkirk would probably make the cut as well, although it's slightly slow. But the Vigilante Justice I'll take for sure. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. So Cruin Striker is one of the better 2-drops that you can get in these colors, and it's one I want for sure. We probably would play an Angel's Tomb, but I really don't like this card very much. I mean, it essentially just can't block. And I hate cards that just literally, I don't mean literally, but essentially can't block. And I just don't like that. But I'm really happy to get a Cruin Striker here. That guy's sweet. He's a human. He gets huge. If we do pick up a Thatcher Revolt at some point, that's pretty nice. Those go up in value significantly now that we have a Vigilante Justice as well. Got to keep that in mind. I think Nightshade Peller is probably the best card out of this pack, but we're going to be taking the Vigilante here. He's a human. He'll come down with our Justice and do stuff. Ooh. That's a nice little 1-drop to pick up. Stonewright's very strong. Keep passing Guises of Fire. I wouldn't mind a couple, but Stonewright, you soul bond him up with something that seems irrelevant, or even maybe something with some evasion, like a Farbog Explorer or Moonlight Geist, and all of a sudden you've got a real threat that they have to deal with. Nothing doing here. I mean, Battle Hymn's unplayable. Rush of Blood really sucks. Yeah, we'll just take another one of these, I guess, because it's got a pretty picture. I don't know. None of those are going to make the cut, I don't think. We'll see, though. Like I said, when you're talking about a set that is a little stingy on playables, sometimes some cards make the cut that you might not have planned. I still think the Nightshade Peller is like the best pick here, or the best card here, but I think we're just going to take a Narstad Scrapper just because, if you do get low on playables, you just sometimes need to throw a guy like that in. I don't like this card very much. I guess I'll take this one, but probably won't run it. I'd run the Avacyn Scroll. That one I'd run, but not that one. These are all bad, but we'll take this one. I don't think we're going to run that either. Take this one. Can't block humans. That guy's pretty painfully bad. All right, well, our deck's coming together. We've got quite a few playables here. We're looking to fill out our curve a little bit. Any more 2-drops would be sweet. Ooh, well, there's some cards for us in here. Cathar's Crusade is probably just going to be our pick. This card can do some really crazy stuff. It's a little grindy, it's a little awkward to curve up to this, but man, I swear any more creatures you play after that, they just get huge, and any board stalls are instantly unstalled, and things just get great. Again, a great pair with Thatcher Revolt, but we don't have any of those yet, but maybe we'll get some, I'm hoping. Okay. There's a couple of 2-drops for us here, but we've actually picked up one of the premium removals in the set, especially since this set doesn't really have that much good removal with the Pillar of Flame, so I'm going to take that. I would play a Thraben Valiant or a Moorland Inquisitor in this deck, no problem. I will say, if this was a Nearheath Pilgrim, is that, yeah, the Lifelink Soul Bond, man, that'd be a tougher choice, but Pillar of Flame's going to come in over those guys. All right, so there's a Defy Death. That lets us get something back. But most of our guys, kind of aren't really worth it. I'd much rather just have a Cloud Shift than that. But that said, I'm going to take the Hanweir Lancer here for the same reason that I took the other one. And along these same lines, I'm also going to be taking this Cruin Striker, again, for the same reasons. I don't really like Voice of the Provinces. It's not that it's, unplayable, but it's pretty bad, man. I mean, you're paying 6 mana for a 3/3 flyer. You get a 1/1 human, which is okay, but geez, that's a lot of mana. Cruin Striker's definitely where I want to be for this type of thing. Oh, geez. I was pretty excited when I saw this Stonewright right here, because another 1-drop would have been great, but Hound of Griselbrand's just a beast. Look at that thing. Double strike and Undying? Yeah, we're taking that. Get in there. All right, so a Scroll of Avacyn, which kind of just cycles us through, a Somberwall Vigilante, which would be our second one, but kind of help our curve out a little more, or a Bladed Bracers, which, is going to make pretty much our entire deck +1/+1 in Vigilance for a fairly cheap price, too. I think I'll take the Bracers here. I kind of like making our guys a little bit better. Okay, so there's not much here. I could cut the Smuggler. I could cut the Searchlight guys because those are playable. I could also just play or just draft the Curse Break in case there's something really nasty. I mean, it has a chance of making it in some way. Oh, geez, this is a tough one, man. So we've got a Kessig Malcontent and a card that I think I'd probably normally overlook, but that I have a lot of respect for after having played with it, which is Lightning Prowess here. This thing can do some serious work, but I'm not going to pass a Malcontent. Our entire deck are humans. Sweet. Got that Thatcher Revolt we wanted. I think that's about... I guess I might run one more if we needed to, but we can probably cut this Narstad Scrapper now. We might even be able to cut this Aggravate at some point. I'm really happy to see that Thatcher Revolt come in, though. That card does a lot. Like, come on. Enters the battlefield. That's sick, right? They all get those. If you Thatcher Revolt after Cathar's Crusade, it's like 9 power. Plus, if you have Vigilante Justice, it does 3 damage to something. I mean, it's just silly at that point. Not a whole lot for us here, although Tormentor's Trident can definitely make some things pretty sweet, and we do have some first strike giving Handwear Lancers, so it might just be the ticket. Put it on something that isn't going to block or attack well anyway. I think I'm going to take Sheltering Word out here. That card's not good, but it is the kind of card that can kind of get you. All right, nothing really here. I'll take a Bloodflow Connoisseur, and I'll take a Raging Poltergeist. All right, so we've got a deck here. I think I can cut the Aggravate and probably one of the equipment and be pretty happy here. Yeah, this deck looks sweet. We can do a lot of powerful things. I might even just cut the Gang of Devils. Like, it's not like that card's super amazing. All right, get in there. Yep. Restoration Angel is awesome. And I'll put it in for now. Not those. Yep. Handwears and Kessigs all over the place. Oops. Okay, so this is kind of where I'm at here. This is one playable off. That's not running the Aggravate. Gang of Devils can come out. It's not super powerful. Like I said, I could cut one of the equipment, but they seem actually pretty good in my deck. I guess I could cut Bladed Bracers. It's not that great. This seems much more aggressive. Our guys aren't particularly evasive, but I kind of like that you can just throw this thing on like a Kessig Malcontents or something and just be like, here, you have to block this, you know? Like, you have to trade this thing off. Because one of the things that you'll notice about this format is that it's not like Innistrad in that there's like just these guys laying around that can just block, or, 1/1 Flying Spirit tokens aren't just flying around all over the place like they were in Innistrad. All right. So it looks like we're pretty heavy red here. How does our curve look as far as color commitment? Early red, a little bit of early white, but this isn't early white. It's just this guy, and then all red, and then we have white late. So we're going to skew our mana towards red pretty hard here. Yeah, so Moto says 10-7, and that's actually what I was going to say as well. We just really need to hit early red, and then we can clean up with white later. So, yeah, let's submit this thing, and let's see what it can do. This is the color combo that I wanted coming in. It just happened to work out. I would have also gone blue-green Soul Bond. I've had some success with that. I think that's pretty good. And then pairing red with different colors has worked for me as well. I've tried mono black. Well, I've never actually gotten mono black, but I've gotten heavy black and with sort of the black theme, and that's worked well for me too. Okay, so we'll see you guys in round 1.